Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 is that a lot of fans are very worried and excited about this movie based on, what they have been seeing in the TV spots, the trailers, you name it, and exactly what they have heard through all the leaks and the spoilers, etc., etc. Now, obviously, we do know that Disney and Lucasfilm are banking on Palpatine. Palpatine really is going to be the main focus for this story. Like I say, we do know that J.J. Abrams was the one who came up with the idea of bringing back Palpatine into the mix, and that Palpatine really was not in the cards ever since 2014 when they started developing Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, on top of all of this, throughout all the leaks, I wanted to go over Palpatine's entrance, his first scene in the movie. I want to break it down, I want to talk about it, let's explain everything through the leaks that we've been going over, everything related to Palpatine, Kylo Ren, you name it. So if you guys don't want to get spoiled, I do heavily suggest that you guys back out of this video right now, because this is actually the very beginning of the movie and Palpatine's first scene. We're going to be going over all the different pieces of dialogue, what it means, and everything related to Kylo Ren. Now, with that being said, in the very beginning of the film, we actually open up to a shot in space in which TIE fighters and Star Destroyers of the First Order are heading toward a red planet. It almost kind of looks like Mustafar in a strange way. When you look at this world, from what's been described, is that the world is actually said to be red, with a lot of red cracks on the surface. So from what's explained here, is that this world is almost similar to that of Mustafar when it comes to its appearance, but it's not. So as the TIE fighters get closer to the surface, this is where we have Kylo Ren destroying the clan members and the clan leaders that are protecting Sith lore. And basically Kylo Ren is after a device called the Wayfinder. Now the Wayfinder is said to be a device that allows Kylo Ren to find Palpatine's location on the world of Exegol. And he finds it in this strange box with a symbol on top of it. It's going to be like a thing that's made out of like cement or something around those lines, or made out of stone, that allows Kylo Ren to find this device that once belonged to his grandfather Darth Vader. And they're the ones who are holding on to the device that once belonged to Vader, that allows him to find segments over in the unknown regions where Palpatine is hiding out. Now, this actually has the original Sith symbol on top of it. This new Sith symbol slapped on top of this box, or this cement box, if you will, that contains the Wayfinder device, is said to be the new symbol of Palpatine's new Sith Empire as well. Now, I want to go into the Palpatine sequence when Kylo Ren heads over to the world of Exegol. We're going to be going over all the pieces of dialogue, what Palpatine says in the very beginning of this movie based on all of the leaks that we've been talking about. So, there's a moment in the film in which Kylo Ren takes a lift down into the Sith Sanctuary, and there's a segment in which we have a moment in where Kylo Ren begins to hear a voice, where he says, "At last, Snoke trained you well." Kylo Ren states, "I killed Snoke, I will kill you." Palpatine states, "My boy, I made Snoke, I have been every voice you have ever heard inside your head." Basically emulating the voices of Snoke and Vader at that point in time. So, as we go through this, more Palpatine dialogue begins to unfold before Kylo Ren even sees Palpatine. So, Palpatine states, "The First Order was just the beginning. I will give you so much more." This is where Kylo states, "You will die first." Palpatine states, "I have died before. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural." Giving us a nice callback to that of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, of course, is that line of dialogue at a place for you guys, or does it seem like a cheap piece of dialogue to get the fans going crazy, or does it make sense to you? Essentially, the reason as to why J.J. Abrams implemented that line of dialogue in the movie is because, essentially, it lines directly up with how Palpatine was able to cheat death, and how he states that he has died before. So, Kylo states, "What could you give me?" Palpatine states, "Everything. The new Empire, the might of the First Order will soon be ready. It will be yours if you do as I ask. Kill the girl, end the Jedi, and become what your grandfather Vader could not. You will all rule the galaxy as the new Emperor, but be aware she is not what you think she is." Kylo states, "Who is she?" So basically what happens in this particular scene is that Palpatine is giving Kylo Ren an offer in order to have him take control of the new Sith Empire and for him to become the new Emperor of the new Empire. Now, obviously, as we have been talking about this for a very long time, Kylo Ren has other plans for Palpatine. He does not want to submit to Palpatine, and that Kylo has other plans going on in the background. He actually tells Rey this later on at some point in time in the movie, when Rey is on the desert world of Pasana, where they have their Force bond again. So, everything about this, alright, in the very beginning, is, of course, you do see Snoke clones from what's described in this green liquid hooked up to tubes with the relics, these small little creatures, pretty much, taking care of the tanks. It's very intriguing to think about the fact that J.J. Abrams had to really patchwork or fix elements of Rian Johnson's mess in The Last Jedi. I want to talk about this opening scene, though. Does it feel rushed to you guys? The fact that in the very beginning, we already have Palpatine, pretty much up front and center, talking to Kylo Ren, unveiling his plans, and allowing him to take control of the new Sith Empire and to combine it with the First Order, where it becomes the Final Order. Let me just state one thing here real quick, is that the Final Order, the name of that just sounds cheesy. I don't know about you guys, but to me it just sounds like a haha joke. First you have the First Order, now you have a thing called the Final Order. Why not just call it the New Empire? Of course, Palpatine calls it the New Empire, but that's not exactly what it's really called. What it's called is the Final Order. Now, the New Empire, like I say, is going to fuse with the First Order and become the Final Order, which is all set to destroy multiple star systems that Palpatine plans to do at some point in time in this movie, including even the world of Kijimi at one point, as seen in the trailers. Now, everything related to Palpatine, it really seems like that what they're trying to do with this dialogue, I will say that there are parts of this dialogue that we've actually been talking about and that has leaked. Some of the pieces of dialogue feel a little off. I want to go over how Palpatine says, "I made Snoke." That to me sounds a little off. I think it would have been more fitting if he stated, "I am Snoke." That would have been, I think, a little bit more official sounding, if you will. The way when he says, "I made Snoke," kind of sounds like something that you would hear in a fan film or something around those lines, but that's just how I view things, right? But everything related to Palpatine and Kylo Ren, it really seems like that these are going to be the highlights of the movie. Everything else, a lot of fans are saying that, there are a lot of moments in the film that are going to either, drive them away or are going to make them feel very excited for the future. I mean, you name it. Now, the entrance of Palpatine's scene, alright, is all said to take place within the world of Exegol. This is actually said to be a planet that resides near the Beyond, by far the most powerful force nexus there is, that allows Palpatine to do very strange things with the dark side, and that also allows him to use the Force Conduit technique on both Rey and Kylo Ren in this movie. So, the very beginning of the film, it almost seems like they wanted to jump right to Palpatine. It's very unfortunate, though, that in this movie, he's only got 12 minutes worth of screen time. I think that's the main reason as to why fans even want to go ahead and see this movie, is because it's all about Palpatine, it's all about what he really does in the film, and exactly where it's all really going to go by Disney and Lucasfilm. So, everything related to it in that sense, like I say, there are elements that are modeled after Dark Empire, the comic series in the late 1990s, where you had clones of Palpatine. Well, now you have clones of Snoke, where Palpatine created those clones somehow, some way. And that'll be more explained in the film's novelization. Another big flaw about this movie is that apparently his ultimate survival from Return of the Jedi is not explained. The only explanation is that I died once, and that was it. So I think that there needs to be more explanation as to why Palpatine is back in the movie, and I kind of find it funny that J.J. Abrams promised months ago that that would be fully explained. Meanwhile, it's not, most likely because of the reshoots and how a lot of Palpatine footage was deleted. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.